this? Tell me about this.
The sign?
Yes, ma'am.
My son was an artist, and he had a sketch pad that I gave him so he could draw, and he draws out his feelings. And I had picked up his things, but we were so enthralled with everything else, I hadn't looked at it till about a month ago. And there was only one picture in there, and it was this eye. And I'll show it to you. It's on a piece of paper and done in black ink. It had the word lie in the middle, and it had a teardrop. And I believe that Gabe was sending me a message. He was hurt that it was a lie. He wanted it to be the truth. And I lost him.
How long was he in for?
2 months.
And did he tell you at times that it was just weird and bizarre and you wanted to get it out? But
oh, he said it was the craziest place he'd ever been to in his life. He said it was easy to get drugs in there if you wanted it. And he says, but Mom, I'm really going to try to do this for the girls. I can do this. He said, he said, there's drugs everywhere here.
now, did they bill your insurance company for 24/7, or was it just outpatient, or how'd the insurance work?
There was no insurance. I paid them $27,000.
$27,000.
Yes, I did. Thinking there was another one, a facility that was 11, and you know how you think, you pay more, you get more. And I thought he'd get better counseling. This is a beautiful setting. It's peaceful. He'll get back to his, nature that he loved so much. Just felt like it would be better since it costs more money, and it couldn't have been further from the truth.
So when they come in, do they wean them off their medicine, or is it just cold turkey? That's very dangerous.
Oh no, he was cold turkey. I got a letter from him about a week and a half afterwards. He could hardly write, and said, Mom, I just came out of hell. And he said, I don't like this place so much and don't want to stay here very long.
So was anyone there checking his blood pressure, heart rate, anything?
He told me that there was a girl that would come in and check on him, and he said that she was a former student that had gone through the 3-month program, and they gave her some kind of class for 20 days, so now she was a nurse, I guess, and could take his blood pressure and decide if he needed medical attention, which if he did, would they have gotten it? I'm not sure. Don't think so. So I don't know what the purpose of that was.
But with someone with like a bipolar issue that takes like lithium, you cannot take that medicine away from them. How can these people function by taking away, vital medicines that aren't painkillers?
Well, that's why people die in the facility. Exactly why people die. Their insulin that they need, their blood pressure medication. Sometimes you have a medical condition. It has nothing to do with the fact that you're angry at somebody when you were 3 or 4 years old and you need to work that out. It has nothing to do with that. Sometimes you need medication, and that's okay.
Did you know that one of the reasons that Ron L. Hubbard got his tax-exempt status was because he needed to form social programs, and this is one of his forms of his social program, so he can get a tax-exempt status? Do you know that? The umbrella of Narconon and Able and Applied Scholastics, they just try and take over everything, but yet they have to hide their name Scientology. Now, if you would have known that they were teachings by Hubbard, what would you have done then if you'd have known? I
wouldn't have made the drive down here, and I filed a complaint with the Attorney General's office, saying they need to mandate that all facilities reveal their church affiliation. If there is one, they need to reveal it. Obviously, they feel like they need to hide it, or they wouldn't do that. And obviously, there's a stigma about Scientology that upsets people. Mind control, all that. It's wrong.
It's just really sad that I myself have been to a back rehab for 23 years of back pain, and I know the war and struggle that goes on in someone's head. It's just sad that people are struggling with their own inner war with their heads, and these people have to play games in their heads. It makes me so mad.
That's what that picture's all about.
The lie.
The lie. Yeah, that's what that picture's all about. It made him so angry.
So what did they do? Did they call you and say your son is sick? Did they warn you? Did they give you...
No. My husband got a call, and they said there's been something happen that's bad. Your son passed away this morning, and my husband had to come home and tell me that. And I was making his lunch. It was 11:30, And he walked in the door, and he put his arms around me and just started holding me. And I thought, what are you doing? I'm trying to cook your lunch here. And he just kept holding me and holding me. And then he pushed me back a little bit. He said, baby, I got a call from Narconon. Gabe passed away this morning. And I said, I just talked to him. No, he's okay. He didn't pass away, honey. And then I heard somebody screaming, not again, not again. And that would have been me. We immediately collected not immediately, it probably took us an hour to gather our thoughts, and we drove down here. When I got here, there was a mattress that had been flung outside. I assumed that was my son's. I thought that was hurtful. They knew we were coming. We waited about 15 minutes and then had a meeting with Gary. And, you know, he was very sorry. And I believe he's sorry. And I believe they're sorry for the people that die. I just don't know. Here's my thinking. After Casey Wernick died, okay, she died because she needed medical attention. Let's be really careful with patients from now on, okay? All right, then Gabe dies. You know, we really need to be more careful. We need to really watch these people a little closer, okay? Well, then Hillary dies. Okay, really, guys, we got to watch these people. You know, we got to check on them, see if they're not walking around, where are they at? And then Stacy dies. It's like they don't seem to learn, you know, to correct an error that costs somebody, their family member. Gabriel has 2 little girls that love him and miss him and are struggling with his loss.
What's their names?
Venice is his 12-year-old, and Isabel is his 6-year-old.
And it's funny the way the church Scientology, well, they will say in God's name. They don't believe in God. Why should they even have God's name in any of their statements that they make?
Do they have it to deceive people who do believe in God, or I don't know what the answer to that is, honestly.
Well,
I don't know why they do that.
Did you know that that their cross, the cross that they have, that's the 8 points of Dianetics of Ron L. Hubbard's? Could you imagine if they would have done that to a swastika? I mean, done it with a Jewish symbol or a Muslim symbol? They just picked a Christian because they know it would attract people. I mean, why do they have church, and why do they have a cross and use the word church? I
don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand how people can follow it. You know, if you want to make money, what do? You start a church.
Did you call the 800 number?
No, I was actually Googling rehabs, and the Narconon facility came up. I'd never heard of it before. So I read about it and then called, and unbeknownst to me that the Rocky was his name, would get $3,000 or 10% or whatever of the fee I was getting ready to pay. I just thought he really cared and was, you know, passionate about his job, because he spent an hour and a half on the phone with me answering all my questions. Nothing brought up about Scientology, just the saunas and all this other information. And so we decided to come bring Gabe down the next day, and I didn't even notice L. Ron Hubbard's picture in the foyer, but Emmett did. And you know, he's like, is this Scientology, Shirley? You know, his brother was held captive on Sea Org for a year, 40 years ago. So he had a little bit of knowledge about it. And so we asked, and they said, oh, no. It's just, there are some principles of Scientology that we use to rehabilitate addicts. And I said, so you don't teach them Scientology? It's not about Scientology? Oh, no, not at all. This is about drug rehabilitation.
Actually said that.
Yes,
You've
he
got
did.
to be kidding me.
Yes, he did. My husband heard him. My son heard him, but he can't testify to that.
At what point did they break out the literature on him to, like, in the courses when they start the counseling and stuff? When did they start introducing the teachings? Do you know?
I don't know, but I do know that Gabe told me after about 4 weeks, he said, Mom, I might want to work here. I can make a lot of money. He goes, you get $3,000 every time you get somebody in. You know, he was excited. He's always a businessman as well. But he said it's all about teaching you to be a Scientologist. And he says, I don't want to be one. He said, I think differently than they do. He said, but you can make some money working here. And he said, maybe that's what I need to do.